Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here with a new episode, the Local Need Talks. We're going back in memory lane because I don't miss those local need talks at all. And let me know what your funniest local need talk was in your congregation. I don't know how they did it in other countries, but in the Netherlands it was always something that you had to drag yourself to. Those 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I believe. I don't know how long it was, that talk, but it was always something that I was shaking my head all the time. Sometimes it's so obvious because we have to control our urges according to sex. Especially if you are gay. That was in the 1990s, one of the talks I had in my congregation. And after the meeting, someone was disfellowshipped. 1 + 1 is, everybody knows where it was about. We had marking talks. We had talks about teenagers going out and that rock concerts are bad. And certain movies are pure evil and all those things. Things that were alive in our congregation were settled on stage. And sometimes everybody knew about the person they were talking. And that's something I think it's not right. It's not okay to humiliate people from the stage. Why? Because some of the subjects were so explicit that everybody knew what was going on. There were already rumors about that man that was sleeping around with another sister or whatever, and then after that is a little bit known in the congregation, you suddenly get a local need talk from a brother who is describing the whole situation without naming somebody. But everybody knew what person we were talking about, they were talking about. And if there's not much happening in your congregation, you still have that talk once in a while. And then it gets even freakier and scarier and so pointless. We had a local talk about how to hold the microphone. We had to listen 10-15 minutes to a brother explaining that we had new microphones in our congregation and you're not allowed to touch them and to grab them because then the sound gets off and you and then everything is going south. So we had a whole talk that we had microphones without cordless microphones, and that the congregation is not allowed to touch them anymore and to grab them if you want to answer during the Watchtower study. You can do it with a sentence before every meeting. Members, congregation, listen, the Watchtower is going to start. Don't touch the microphones. The brother will hold them in the right direction in front of your mouth. Don't worry, don't touch it. If you want to touch it, they take it away and we try again. That's all. No, they have to talk 15 minutes about such a useless subject. So it's getting a farce. It's becoming a farce. Just naming things that aren't the important things in life. Give a talk about how Jesus is inspiring us. Whatever the consequences are, that you have to go through, that you have to hold on, and that what the important is of bringing the message of Jehovah's kingdom or whatever. No, we're gonna talk about this is a blue cloth, this is a red, pink cloth. The blue cloth is for interior cleaning, like the seats and stage and stuff like that. And the pink one we use in the bathrooms. And then especially looking at all the sisters in the congregation. That's the level they are playing on. Not only is the education dumbed down, but everything in your congregation is dumbed down. Also, that they don't trust you with even a simple cloth to clean. They are not praising you for being willing to help and clean that hole. No, they are telling you how to do it in a proper way. And don't make mistakes, people. So the local talks is something I always remember. It's about people who come together. I had a brother who said, oh, it would be nice that the young people would come together and there's some music and there's some food and stuff like that. Then an elder heard that conversation, knows about the plan someone has, and thought, no, that's not what we're gonna do. We don't want people to be happy with each other. And then the next day we had a local need talk that there is no room for such a thing. They name it a party. And my friend was really, really sad about even a simple thing like that it's not allowed, because there will be no supervision and there will be worldly music and young people, the urges to have sex with each other and all the things. They open all the registers just to be able to say no to something someone wants to organize. And I think that's the reason why people are so stressed out. That's the reason why these kind of things take away all the power and autonomy of people. The authentic self is disappearing. We had a local need talk about personal hygiene. Not putting too much perfume on yourself, because if you are in the congregation and someone is sitting behind you who has an allergy or whatever, can take offense of you. So don't hide and mask your personal odor, but don't put too much perfume on it. We had a local need talk about people in ministry naming other people goats. Instead of going to that sister, it was a sister, who was not happy with someone who said no on the door. I don't want anything to do with you guys, go away. Okay, you will be a goat and you will not enter paradise. And she left. Why are you not going to that sister and say, hey sister, I admire your enthusiasm for Jehovah and his kingdom, but we are not the people who are judging other people. We have God for it. We have Jesus for it. Whatever you want to say. But why not the personal touch? Because what I learned about why there are local need talks is that it's for elders. They are scared to be one-on-one with someone if someone did something. They just want to handle it from the platform, to hide behind the organization instead of bringing the bad news themselves. Some elders are love to bring the bad news, but generally elders avoid real conversations. That's what there are always one or two elders in a congregation who handle the difficult cases. There are not much elders who are willing to be in an awkward situation with somebody, to tell them somebody. But if you smell a brother when he's entering the congregation and you are giving 10 minutes of a local need talk about personal hygiene, then the whole congregation knows. That's why so many people are afraid to step out of what's normal in Jehovah's Witnesses' eyes, because they are getting humiliated in front of the whole congregation. The whole congregation knows which brother smells or which sister smells. We had local need talks about that we have to respect elderly people, that gray hair is a crown on their head or something. You all remember it. But what is your most funny local need talk? I want to know. Because there is so much going on. Every congregation is different. We had something about bestiality even, a local need talk. And everybody is looking around, who can it be? Who can it be? But if someone gets disfellowshipped or gets reproved or whatever, you are known. So there's no hiding in that congregation. So I think those talks are also meant to bring the fear back into the people. That if they slip up, if there's something going on, that there is going to be a talk about it. And even when they are not naming somebody personally, a lot of people in that congregation, because it's a tight group, they have nothing to do, they are gossiping all day about each other, especially the pioneers, in my opinion, that everybody knows what's going on in that little congregation. So there are no secrets, almost. So eventually it's your turn to be humiliated if you're not doing the things accordingly to what that earthly organization is telling you to do. That's the problem. And I think those talks contribute to the fact that there is more fear into people, that they are scared to be critical about something. Because I had a brother in my congregation who was asking valid questions. Valid questions about the vaccination, valid questions about why are they doing this? Why are they saying that if you have a beard you are worldly, stuff like that? And he was in the next local need talk. That we just have to trust the governing body. That we have to follow Jehovah's chariot. All those words, we all know them. And everybody knew that it was about that brother. That brother got silenced from the stage. He is also out, so that's good. He didn't fold. He didn't cave in. He stood his ground and he was courageous. He was very courageous not to let them intimidate them, because that's what they do. A local need talk about personal hygiene. A local need talk about how to clean the toilets. A local need talk how to hold a microphone when you're having something on stage. All those things show you that they think you are morons, that you are not able to think for yourself. And that's a level of perfection they want that is not there. There is no perfection in that earthly organization. You don't want to strive for it. You don't want to make so much rules like the Pharisees that you are unable to operate, that you are, and they do it with style because it creates dependent people. They are depending on what you allow, what you think is right, because they don't think for themselves anymore. That's the crazy thing. So I also had a local talk that if someone who was disfellowshipped is coming back into the congregation and they announce it, that you don't clap for it because it's not a reward. I had one sister who was clapping very hard because her son was getting reinstated. And after that, she was pulled apart. She was taken apart with some elders that it's not a good thing to clap for someone who's getting reinstated. I believe now they do it. So that's all. It's so bizarre that where they were not allowed to do something in the past, now they are allowed to do something. So people, they don't know what's right, what's wrong. Even with the disfellowship thing, I have many people who say now that you are allowed to talk to this fellowship person. They don't understand, they misinterpret the rules of the governing body. It's only allowed in the kingdom hall. And besides that, it's not allowed. But people don't understand anymore what the governing body is deciding every time. Like someone who has his first talk. Then we're clapping. But if someone has done many talks, then we stop clapping. So we clap for somebody, but not for other people, and it can be strange. So we get a local need talk about clapping and when to clap. People, do you understand how bizarre situation this is? How weird it is for us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses to lose that program from those silly things. Maybe you still have problems sometimes with it. And I understand that because it's so bizarre if you look back at your life as a Jehovah's Witness, what you were exposed to. That you are, if someone was smoking a cigarette in your high school, that the next week you had a local talk about how bad cigarettes are and addictive and it's causing you health problems and it can be something you were disfellowshipped for. And then you hear blah 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 is reproved and you know, oh, 1 + 1 is that guy. You know what situation we are brought in, we are raised in. That it's okay to snitch on other people, that you have to keep quiet and keep everything for yourself, because otherwise you get exposed from a platform for the whole congregation. You are getting humiliated. That's the stuff we grew up in. That's the stuff we have to lose. That's the stuff that was. I have no problem anymore with those things, but in the beginning it was hard for me to find a way between everything. Because if you leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's hard to lose certain habits. I know that. But it's okay and it's normal because we were exposed to so much weird, controlling things. And the local need talk was one of them. There's always you were, what's gonna happen now? So that fear, that guilt, everything is going into play in your head. I hope it's not about me. So people lose their identity because of those talks, because they don't want to be the person that's out of that group, that's other than that group, that has other thinking than that group. So we conform to other people. So it's just an example of how evil that organization is, how silly that organization can be about irrelevant things, talking about irrelevant things for so long. And then also you are humiliating people in the process. You are taking away the self-worth of certain people. Instead of being happy that someone visits the congregation meeting, you're going to humiliate some persons because their personal hygiene is not up to the standards of a few men in the congregation who decides for everybody. Don't you think that the people in Jesus' time were smelling badly when they were living on the street? So where is that compassion you need from the people who are being the shepherds? They are nowhere. So watch out for yourself, start your critical thinking, don't let anybody dim your light, and don't let anybody humiliate you from a platform in the congregation for minor things that aren't the world problems of this time. Have a beautiful weekend, people. Let me know what your special need talk was, or your local need talk, what the funniest was or the most bizarre you ever heard. We have the normal subjects. Sex is one of them, of course, and how you have to keep yourself in line and don't let anybody fool you, and short skirts and all that stuff. But we also had other subjects, and I want to hear them from you. Have a beautiful weekend. We see each other on the next episode.